Hi, welcome to Vero's Kitchen. Today I will be making red and white pozole, a very popular and traditional Mexican dish, also a family favorite. These are some of the more common chili pods or peppers that are used to make the red salsa for the red pozole. We have Chile Guajillo, or also called cascabel, Chile Ancho, and Chile New Mexico. I actually used to use Chile California, but I wasn't able to find it, so the New Mexico is basically the same thing. And you don't have to add this, but I also add Chile del Arbol, which makes it a little bit spicier. But if you don't like spicy food, you can definitely just not put this one in, because these are really not that spicy. You'll be able to see the level of hotness or mildness on the cover. Now, I do want to point out that everybody makes this recipe different. Some people add some of these peppers, some add a combination of all of them, or sometimes they just use one specific kind. I've had very many different types of red pozole and they all taste delicious. So in the end, it's really up to you and your preference what you like the most. But I guarantee you, can't go wrong. Red pozole is delicious. So here we go. Okay, so we're going to remove the stem of this, and we're gonna throw out all the seeds, or as many as you can. It'll be really hard to get them all out unless you completely break the whole thing. Some of them are really easy to break. So just get as many as you can out. And then we're gonna put them in a pot to cook. And we're gonna do the same with all of them. Just remove the top and get as many as the seeds as you can out. So go ahead and put a decent amount of water and rinse them out. Just with your hand, just kind of like scrub it out and rinse for a little bit. And once you've done that, you go ahead and drain, and then you can go ahead and add the water for them to cook. Okay, I have a variation of the different chili pods here. You can add more of whichever one you prefer. I personally like the Chile California, Chile New Mexico way better, so I put a little bit more of those. And I also added 3 Chile del Arbol just so it's a little bit extra spicy, not too much. And I will add a whole tomato in here because the flavor is just a little better with it. I really like how it tastes. You don't have to add it if you don't want, it's really not necessary, but it really does taste good. I also add 1 little garlic clove in there, and then we're gonna just cook this all. We're gonna let it boil, and then once it's boiling, it'll cook for about 10 minutes, and then the chiles will be ready. For now, I also have my chicken already cooking. It's already boiling, and it should already be ready and cooked. I used about 2 boneless chicken breasts, because that's really all we need for the entire pozole. If you want to add more, if you need more, go ahead. If you also don't want to add any chicken, you don't have to. Also, some people do use pork or beef with pozole instead, but I personally like it with chicken so much better. There's just something about it that tastes way better, so I always make it with chicken. But you're welcome to make it with pork or beef if you'd like. Okay, now we're going to prepare the hominy. Now, I know that this is a really big can, but it's because my family and I like to have seconds, and so that's why we make a lot. But they do sell smaller cans, so if you don't want to make so much, you can just go ahead and get one of those. Now, we're going to rinse this out, and I do about half first so that I can really get everything rinsed out. So once they're in here, we're still going to go ahead and clean it out with water so that it doesn't have any of that juice or stuff that was in there. And we're going to do this for all of it. Okay, now that these are rinsed out, we're going to go ahead and add them to the chicken that was already being cooked. And I have a lot of water in here so that it can be nice and soupy. And we're going to add a little bit of flavors. I did already add a little bit of seasoning to the chicken while it was cooking. I put some chicken bouillon and some bay leaves. So I'm just going to add a little bit more so that it has the flavor. Okay. I'm only going to add about 1 tablespoon extra because it already had a little bit of flavor before, but if you hadn't flavored the chicken when you had put it in, then you can go ahead and put 2. But I don't need to, I don't want it to be too salty. And our chilies are done boiling. They've been cooking for 10 minutes now, so we're ready to take these out. And you can see they are much softer now. The tomatoes look done too. The skin is pretty much falling off. So these are ready. If they need a little bit of more time, you can just go ahead and give them a few more minutes, but they should be done at about 10 minutes. Okay, so while our hominy finishes cooking, I'm going to prepare a sort of pico de gallo type of salsa, but it's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to use canned jalapenos. Now, I know not very many people do it that way, but the canned jalapenos have a slightly different flavor and it tastes so good. I definitely recommend you try it. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but it's really good this way. All right, now we're going to prepare the salsa to make the pozole red. So we're going to get all the chilies that are already cooked and we're going to put them in the blender. Now, we're going to add about maybe a fourth of a big onion or half of a small one. And I like it fresh. If you don't like the taste of it fresh, you can go ahead and cook it along with everything, but I like how it tastes fresh, so we're going to go ahead and just add it whole. And get some of the water in here so that it can be nice and juicy. Since it's going to go into the pozole, you want it to have all this flavor. You don't want it to be too thick. We're going to add just a little bit of salt, not too much, it's really to your liking, just to give it a little bit of flavor. But remember, the chicken and the hominy already have a lot of flavor, so you really don't need to add too much of that. And we're going to blend this together. All right, this is what it ends up looking like. See, it's kind of thick, but not too thick. You really don't want it to be too thick. And since there's still some seeds in there and you really don't need some of the stuff that wasn't able to get blended, we're going to strain this so that we only have the juices. All right, now that we strained out all the juices, this is all the extra stuff that we ended up with. If you don't want to strain it, you absolutely do not have to. I just prefer it this way. So we get all this stuff and just throw it away. All right, so now our salsa has been drained and this is what it looks like. And the pozole is ready. It's cooked. And I put some over here on the side. And this is going to be our white pozole, which my kids are going to eat. And I'm going to make this one the red one. So we're going to just add a little bit at a time so that we can see kind of how it goes. We don't want to add too much if it doesn't need it. So we'll take it slow and see how the color starts to change. Here we go. Oh yeah. And we're going to just let it cook for a little bit longer so that the hominy can go ahead and get some of the flavor and the color that we just added. It won't be too long since it's already cooked and it's ready. Just so that it can all combine together perfectly. And then, in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and cut up some cabbage, some lemons, and some radishes, which are all gonna go on top of the pozole. All right, it's ready. So now I will show you how I prepare it, so you can eat it the same if you'd like, or you can change a few things up however you'd like. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of lemon. The lemon will be to your taste. You can add more as you're eating if you'd like, or you don't have to if you don't want to either. A little bit of the sort of pico de gallo sauce that we made. This is what it ended up looking like. It has a tomato, onion, and jalapeno. You can add as you go. If If you want to add some more after, go ahead. Put a little bit of cabbage in here. That looks so good. You can add radishes too if you'd like. You don't have to, but it is so, so good with it. And of course, we can't forget our avocado. Oh my goodness. This will be so delicious. All right. Whew. Yeah. So now this is ready. And I will just add a tiny bit of oregano. You don't have to do this if you don't want, but I just like to do it. Is mush it up with my hands. Here we go. And just mix it together and go ahead and taste. All right, so here we go. You can taste the flavors as soon as you put it in your mouth. So good. You can have it with tostada. I love it with tostada too. It's so good. You eat it just on the side. Break some pieces up and put it in there. It's so delicious. I promise you. No matter what you add or take away, this will still be delicious. Pozole is so good. You can make it in so many different ways, and I promise you, you will still love it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy it. And if you like the video, please go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you here next time in Vero's Kitchen.